Ready, flat out.
And you've taken the words right out of my mouth, Marius. Good evening, everybody. Flat out indeed. It is the round number 6 of our Orion Shopfitters Euro Tour. We're at Spa-Francorchamps, and it is a double points, and 4 drivers stand the chance to take this championship. Marius joining me in the commentary box this evening. Marius, how are you this evening, and how is Cape Town?
Coconut's cold, I can tell you. That's how Cape Town is at the moment. But nice, exciting for the last race. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, currently we've had a bit of a change of the format. Remember, we've now gone to a 75-minute race. There is no qualifying required. Charles Wilkin has just subscribed. Thank you very much. We'll see Charles Wilkin in action this evening. No mandatory pit stop required, and a 15-minute qualifying, so we get away from that one-lap flyer. Currently on track, the guys have got 1 minute of the practice left, but only 2 sets of tires, and this is really where the strategies are going to come into play. Some of the calculations to do a pit stop on this track, because that pat entry, the pit is so long, is it's 90 seconds to get yourself in, put in a little bit of fuel, and then get yourself in. 90 seconds is a lot of time to try and make up, Morris?
Yeah, that's one of the main characters of Spa, is that long pit lane. But you know, it's the same for everybody.
Yep.
I don't know, we spoke about strategy. You know, there's such a nice mix of strategies. Some guys probably are going to change tires, some are not. Starting with used tires they did in quali, and then putting on a set fresh for the end or whatever, and some guys going to take a fresh set and ride it out to the end. Who knows? There's always some nice surprises.
And while we were talking behind the scenes, you did mention somebody that might have something up their sleeve. Do you know anything, or are you just expecting something?
I don't know, but I got this funny feeling, you know, Flip van Sail always has very interesting strategies, so let's see what he pulls out the back.
We'll definitely keep our eye on Flip. Let's have a look at the lap, and this one was sent to us by Adrian in the Ferrari. Let's check it out. So he'll now cross the start-finish line, heading towards turn number 1. And knowing that the rolling start is down the hill here, you can hear the green lights in the background. That's the start of qualifying. Flying down now, what is the start for the rolling start under the bridge? Now through turns number 3, 4, and 5. It's Rouge and Radion. You can see Avia using all the curb, and that car looking very, very stable there. Part of the driver's briefing was to tell the guys to please stay to the right of the white line, and that is the pit exit line.
Yeah, it is a very, you must be very aware when you exit that pit.
So you can see using a lot of the inside curb as he got onto that power. Now coming into quite a tricky section. This is now through turn number 10. You see it gets to the right as quick as possible. Lots of curb on the inside here for Avia through turn number 11. We saw an interesting line from Kewen driving with his wheel on the outside there. Now through 12, it's a double apex here. You can see just using the brakes and not gearing down. Quite interesting for me, where I like to get that car down, but I suppose the car looked nice and stable. Now into turn 13, all the way down to second gear, getting back on that power wheel. A little step for the rear there, but able to catch it as he short shifted into third. Now he's going to go onto the brakes, using as much of the outside curb here as possible as he comes through turn 16. Now this is where we're going to see the top speed and the downforce really coming into play here. Who is going to be driving with a higher downforce? Who's going to be taking the risk to get the straight line speed? Through turn 17, not scrubbing much speed there, so that was a good exit there for him. Now into a 19 and 20, you can just see on the brakes how that car's swirling around a little bit out of turn 20, and he's taking his Ferrari, and that was a 218.2. So a really good competitive lap there for Adrian.
Yes, solid lap.
So just having a look at the comments coming in. Seeing getting a little bit of abuse there from Alala saying, I must teach you how to say Ferrari. So I hope I've said it right this time, Lala.
Stream is paused here on my side.
Stand by. Let's just make sure that it is all up and running. You should be able to see it now. So we are currently in the qualifying. Let's just get onto somebody who is currently out on a lap.
No, there's like a yellow on your stream. There's like a exclamation mark.
Is that
on
the Discord side?
Yeah, it says stream paused. So I'm blind.
Okay, let's just stand by here quickly. And now I will address that shortly, but now as we have it, obviously the track map for some reason decides that it doesn't want to work. So while the corner numbers are there and everything was working just before we went into the session, so just checking with everybody out on the stream, just making sure that you are getting everything that we are currently seeing. Just making sure that our sound is coming through correctly.
How many minutes is left of qualifying?
So there are 9 minutes left of qualifying.
I'm still blind. Your stream in Discord is not working.
Okay, I'll get to that shortly. Thank you, Drickus. Yeah, we're going to sort that track map out right now. Okay, the track map is on its way back. Sometimes just don't understand how everything was ready. And then Morris, I will get onto you. And there we go, our track map is back. I'm just going to stop sharing here just for a moment here, Morris. Let me just get it back for you.
There's nothing there. No. There's still that yellow exclamation mark in the top right-hand corner. Oh, there we go.
Okay, there we go. So,
Right,
welcome everybody. Yeah, so what's going to happen is as the guys start coming around, we're going to just start jumping on to see who's where and who's doing what. Faika Jacobs has just subscribed. Thank you very much for that. Let's have a look. Currently, we got Michael Struvik coming around the last corner. He will cross the line. Where does that put Michael? That's him currently 8th. We've got Kieran Duplessis currently in 19th place. I'm sure that he will be moving up the order as he crosses the line. And he goes to a 7th position. Next is Bash, currently in 5th place. 2:18.7 is his fastest time. He crosses the line now and no improvement there for him. Next is Frankie. Frankie crosses the line. That's still a 7th place for him. And invalidating that lap, Mr. Bond, and that is Wayne Bond of the Bond Brothers. He goes from 17th up into 14th place. Next is Len Neary, just having done an out lap. He'll now approach the start-finish line. So Len will cross the line. 19th for him.
I wonder if these guys all just took one flying lap.
So Scholl did unfortunately drop a place. He progressed up to 3rd, but you can see he is now down in 4th place.
I must say, for the opening lap at 2:17, this is it's pretty rapid. There's Christopher Radloff up into 2nd with a 2:17.8.
Next, the man on pole currently, Ryan, he crosses the line at 2:17.6, doesn't improve. Next, Grant Sebastian, currently 25th place. That puts him up into 9th. Sean Lorero, he goes into a 10th place. Jump further back. Wolford Robson, currently 22nd. He doesn't improve. Jabulani, he goes into a 19th place. Avria Maria, currently 23rd. So he on an out lap, so it looks like one lap there for him. Michael Struvik back on I'll say back in action, but back in the camera view. 2:20 for him, currently a 13th place. We then jump back to Akuan, a 2:19 for him. Currently 11th at 2:18. It looked like it was invalidated. It red lap there for him, so he doesn't improve. Bash currently 7th place. 2:20.9 is his quickest. He crosses the line. That is second for him.
Second place. Only 17 hundredths of a second slower than what Ottens were.
Mr. Flat Out himself, 2:17.9, so he doesn't improve there.
No.
Genre, that's Frankie,
if he
doesn't improve. Wayne Bond doesn't improve.
Now, I wonder if you don't improve on that second lap, are you going to go for another one and use that tire? You know, I wonder what all the strategies might be. This is going to be very interesting.
So Scholl really pushing hard to try and get himself ahead of Len Neary. And will Scholl improve? Yes, he does. He goes up one position. Len Neary stays in 20th place. So Flip van Zyl 16th now. That keeps him in 16th. Next is Andres Rodio, currently 12th. Crosses the line, he moves up into 8th place. Next, Marcus Steyn, the man up for the championship this evening. Ooh, goes a little bit too deep there into turn 19. Is that going to impact on his lap as he approaches the line? Does not improve. Oh, 4 minutes. That looks like that might have been an out lap. So he's definitely going to have another go. Grant Sebastian crosses the line. 2:25. Not a lap for him.
Everybody starting a lap now would be their last available. All green sectors there for Wilfred.
So Wilfred improves. He goes up 5 places to 17th. Avia Marais crosses the line. That's 11th place there for him. Terry Wilfred, that's 19th for him. Next up, Michael Struvek again. Purple, red laps there for him. He crosses line, does improve. To 20.0. No improvement there for him. Kieran Duplessis, 5th place there for him, so he gets himself a fastest lap. It is green, so he will now be starting in 5th place. Back to Mr. Christopher Radloff.
Oh, he went for that extra lap to see if he can get a front row start.
Quicker second sector for him compared to his other sectors, and it does not improve.
Oh, well, a good effort though.
So Jean-Ray Frankie Bierkes, 24th there for him. He crosses line, moves up 1 place into 23rd. So Chris Haneker, you can see a red laps there, so those have not counted. He is down in 16th place. Currently the man who is leading this championship. He's going to look for a good qualifying spot here. As he heads towards the start-finish line, he crosses, puts himself in 9th place. Next, Flip van Zyl, 17th currently 4th in the championship here across the line. Does not improve and is going to start 17th.
Robson had a good exit onto that long back straight.
So his last lap was all green sectors there for him. So this is his fastest lap last time round. Will he be able to improve? Looking at the likes of Flip, Wayne and Michael Struvek ahead of him at 3 places. Where will this put him? As he approaches the start-finish line, he crosses it, goes up into 15th place. So he does improve there. Next, Terry Wilfred, a 2:20.7 for him. Green sector laps there the last time round. That's a great exit out of turn 20. Is he going to get this AMG pointed in the right line? Does he improve? No, he does not.
Right, that was a very close qualifying, and it looks like some of the guys did go for that position on the grid as opposed to any tire save. So I suppose lots of the guys will take a fresh set of tires and try and go all the way with it.
100%. So let's just run through the grid. It is Ron Otten's in first place. Bashir Jadwat in second. Third is Christopher Radloff. Fourth, Charles Wilkin. Fifth, Kieran Duplessis. Moath Musa, we didn't see his lap, but he's currently in sixth place. Fleming Bauer in seventh position. Jude Neville, he is in eighth. Chris Heineke in ninth place. Sean Lorero, he is in 10th. Andreas Rodio, 11th place. Marcus Stein in 12th. Adrian Murray, 13th position. 14th position is Grant Sebastian. 15th, Wilfred Robson. 16th place, Michael Struvik. Wayne Bond, 17th place. 18th is Flip Van Sale. Terry Wilfred starts off in 19th place. Neil Greening, 20th. Adrian Bond in 21st. 22nd is Jabulonu Amadi Zavandoni. Hope I got that right this time. Frankie Bierkes in 23rd. Lenieri 24th place, and bringing up the rear there is Ruan Heineke. So while we're just waiting to get everything up and running and started, just make sure that we are getting all our comments coming through. Thank you to everybody that has joined on the stream. I really appreciate it. Remember, this is the last race of the season. We will go into a 2-minute break, a 2-week break, just to make sure that we go through all the learnings that we had from the season, make those few little changes, and then we are able to get ready for the next season. So we are going to jump back a little bit further just so we can get a better view of this 24 strong field here, the last round of the Orion Shopfitters Euro Tour. So Brandon Dos Santos approves of this, and through the driver's briefing he said 2 wires. So far so good. There was a little bit of contact in the front there, but Bash has got an absolute great drive there, getting himself ahead of Ryan as they now head into the braking zone. Oh, 3 wide there. And they're all kind of just sorting themselves out. I see Grant Sebastian has made up 2 places, so that has definitely worked out for him. Some contact there a little bit further down. But now we can focus on the battle out in front. Ryan Otten's behind Bashir Jadwat. And that long train of cars are coming down towards turn number 12. Little look to the inside there. Grant Sebastian trying to go around the outside there, but not enough space there for him. He will have to just back out there between himself and Marcus Stein. But it is absolutely relentless already. The guys are really sticking behind each other. Now starting to just find that rhythm. Big dive there on the inside.
Oh, there's a touch there in the background. I did not see who that was.
That did look like
it was Heineke and Matsi Matondo, yeah. And Heineke. It's an unfortunate clip there. I could not... Oh, there we go.
Oh, so he definitely was just spun around. But hopefully not too much damage there, and we can get back to the racing. We jump back to the front of the pack. And Bash starting to open just more than half a second between himself and Ryan Otten's in second place. Charles Wilkin right behind Christopher Radloff in his BM. Well, Charles Wilkin in the Lamborghini chasing down Christopher Radloff in the BMW. And through the practice, we were just watching how hard Charles was hitting those curbs. And it did tell him, it did look like he had to hold on for dear life there. Musa
looking at a potential 10 horse battle, because this is it's amazing that none took the opportunity to overtake it this time. They just kept their position, which
well, it's also, is there some time management happening, guys not pushing? We understand that there are some of those strategies that are coming into play. There is really a lot of unknowns at this point.
Yeah, a track that you are on full throttle as much as this one, I suppose your fuel, even though there's not a mandatory pit stop, you'll have to probably stop for fuel at some stage.
So I know there has been some talk with guys saying, well, will I be able to manage the fuel? Can I just calm it down a little bit, do some short shifting? I know some of the Ferraris, there is no mapping that you're able to change, so it is definitely down to you actually driving the car.
Well, that would be tricky.
So just seeing Sean Lerero closing up on the back of Andre Serodio. You know, Andre had a very, very tricky race at Barcelona last week. And now having a Sean Lerero all over the back of him. 0.2 is the gap between these two. And we'll say look for battles. Here's a side-by-side with Fleming and Jude Neville. Looks like he got the better run in his AMG heading into turn number 1.
Yeah, he got the corner, but now he's got the man in his slipstream up the hill. But this is a long train of cars, and it looks like at the moment the guys are all content getting into the rhythm.
And that's what you want. You want to be finding that rhythm. You don't want to be making too many rash decisions, especially considering this race is 75 minutes. But I must say, Mohat's looking pretty racy. He has shown that nose a couple of times going into turn number 7.
Yeah, just making himself visible in that mirrors of the Ferrari, maybe forcing a little mistake.
So on board with our race leader, who's just starting to edge a little bit more than half a second between himself and Ryan Ottens. And then we've got Christopher Radloff falling down a little bit, but you can see who Christopher Radloff has in his rearview mirror. And that is this long train of Charles Wilkin, Kieran Duplessis, Mohat Musa, Jude Neville, Fleming Bauer, and Ruan Heineke. We can see all the way down to 11th place, each of those drivers, less than a second between them. So you've got eight cars, less than 8 seconds.
I can tell you one thing, Christopher's got lots of pressure behind him, that is for sure. And it just continues from the last race where he just battled for that position up to the very end.
You can see Kieran wanting to have a little look, but Charles just making that move nice and early.
Christopher was brilliant on the brakes there. Brilliant. He left it very, very late.
So I just want to jump here and see whether we can get this train coming down through Eau Rouge. I'm currently looking at Fleming Bauer, who has dropped 1 place from his qualifying. And just look at that. That is 7 cars, all within that second of each other. Oh,
well, Jude going a little bit deep into the first part of Eau Rouge.
And that was also Chris Heineke just taking a lot of that inside curve. But now there's looks like there might be a move here on the inside. Oh, Kieran right on the back there. That was extremely close. But Charles Wilkin managing to get that move ahead of Christopher Radloff. Let's just go back.
Yes.
We can just see how this move happened.
There we go. Yes.
So
up
up
the slipstream
on the inside, and was that car length ahead by the time he turned into turn number 7.
Well done. I must say that Ferrari was very, very close behind Christopher, and still is. That pack is...
Christopher has unfortunately lost another place because it's Mohat Musa that has now edged his way through.
That's right.
So Christopher, who was up into 4th place and at turn number 7, now as he comes out of turn 10, is unfortunately down in 6th place. So that's 2 positions.
Yeah, and Jude Neville has caught up to them significantly, and bringing with him, of course, the whole company of Bauer. And
Heineke and Sorodo. And who's that just in the shot there?
Sean Lerero.
And Sean Lerero. And I'm pretty sure that Sean will be able to catch up to this little pack and definitely add some additional spice there.
Yes, because if any one of these in the pack engage with each other, that would immediately bring Sebastian also straight back in there, and it just add on to the oh goodness, we've got lots of horses these days.
And
battles, it's amazing. It's
further down,
so
Adrian Murray just starting to close up on the back of Neil Greening, and the man down in 16th place closing up. Oh, I've seen that there has been something that has happened. Let's go back and have a look. Looked like it was between Chris Heineke and Jude. It was actually Jude. Looked like he had just opened the door there a little bit with the car going in, and that just caught Chris Heineke unawares there. So unfortunate accident there.
Yeah, I think Jude was going a little bit slower than what Chris Heineke anticipated there. I think Jude also came a bit off the throttle, which caught Chris out.
So this is now the battle for 1st and 2nd, and we can see Ryan Ottens has closed out that gap between himself and Bash. And talking about the Sean Lerero getting himself up there. There's Sean Lerero and Andres Rodio right on the back of Chris Heineke. I wonder whether that little knock has just created a little bit of damage there.
Yes, I think the top end, the top speed will be a little bit impaired. Who knows if it's the front splitter, maybe even the turning will be a little bit impaired. But okay, he's fighting for it. But I think it will be on the top end.
And I wonder whether that's going to allow the 10th place Grant Sebastian to come and join the 2 ahead of him and apply some additional pressure.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with that Porsche's top end, let me tell you so.
Yeah, he did get out of
a bit deep in there.
And that's gonna allow Sean Lerero to put that pressure on Andres Rodio as they now head towards turn number 1. But Andre will be on the inside, so Sean, I might be able to get the faster outside line. You will be on the inside. No, not the wrong person. And look at that in the background. Grant Sebastian is coming through for the ride. Will Andre? What?
No one wanted to left. Oh my word!
Full commitment
they
there.
got away with it. That's awesome. I thought there was going to be damage, but they got away with it. But I was wondering who was going to lift first, and no one wanted to lift.
Definitely not. Well, that has brought Jude Neville back into this little mix. So Andre now has Sean Lerero, Grant Sebastian, and Jude Neville all fighting it out. But I do see another little a battle that is on the cards. And this is Mohat right on the back of Kieran Duplessis. And while I say that, we've got Ryan, who's now within less than half a second behind the current race leader. Oh, bashed very, very sideways there. And that
Yes,
was
no,
just coming out of turn number 11. You can see that car got a little bit sideways.
you know, it feels like the race has been so long, but only 15 minutes has been gone. It is just battles everywhere going on at the moment. So I think it doesn't look like anybody is very concerned about any fuel saving.
No, it does look like it is maximum attack. And the two teammates, Flip van Zyl and Adrian Marais, they're coming up to the back of Mr. Wayne Bond.
On the other hand, with a very long pit entrance and exit, like on this track, maybe the time that you lose by saving fuel is still way less than what it takes to go through that whole pit palaver. So it would be interesting to see does not pit at all.
So
or if there is someone that can get away with not pitting at all.
What we did miss is Grant Sebastian just stepping out at the last moment there, going into turn number 19. Great move there for him, and managed to get himself ahead of Sean Lerero. So now Sean has his fellow teammate Jude Neville behind him, and a little tow down the Kemmel Straight.
Yeah, on this track, a lot of the guys try and get away with very little downforce on their cars, so I'm quite impressed with the Porsche's top end, I must say. There must not be a lot of wing on it.
I just know for a fact that there's always that trade-up between how much downforce you need for the corners versus that straight line speed. And
yes,
for me, Spa is always that balance between top end and maximum grip, because you got such high speed corners that turn number 12 is that a double left-hander, and you want to have some downforce there to be able to carry the speed through there. Also now where they are currently coming out of turn number 16 is that if that car starts sliding, you compromise this entire back stretch going through turn 16, 17 and 18.
Yes, it is a fine balance. But I must say I'm impressed with how little wing some of the guys use. Right. Musa is still... it actually looks like Kwan pulled a little bit of a gap on him. Ottens is putting big pressure on Jadwat at the moment. And if that happens, Charles Wilkin will get drawn in as well.
It looks like Charles has closed up a bit of a gap there.
Yes.
Because there was about 2.1 seconds, I think, was the gap between Charles. And now all of a sudden, Charles definitely in the running. And just in the shot there's 4th and 5th place, Kewan and Mohat. So I don't know whether the top two have just eased their lap times a bit. Just looking, lap 7 was a 2:19 for Ryan.
Yes, I think maybe it is a bit of a conservation effort. I don't know. But Jadwat was for a bit there under a bit of pressure, so maybe he went defensive and it slowed him down a little bit.
Well, I can tell you what's happening is that the last lap for Bashir was a 2:19.5, Ryan 2:19.5. Charles Wilkin was a 2:18.4, so that was 1.1 seconds that Charles was able to pull off on that last lap. Charles is currently the fastest on track with a 2:18.2 with his purple lap, so definitely closing up on the guys in front.
Yes, it is. Yeah, we want him to engage with that front two, and that would bring the other two into play again. There's about, 55, 56 minutes left of this race, so these guys are either conserving a little bit of tire and fuel. I wonder if there's any different tire strategies, if some people thought they might change tires, but I think most of them would probably put on a new set and go straight through with it. Dylan, what do you think?
I don't know, because it's if your fuel is going to last, you could possibly run a one tire set and not need to pit, and that's going to save you 90 seconds. It's all about that fuel management.
Yeah, I don't know about that fuel saving thing, because on this track where you have these long periods where you flat full throttle, it's very difficult to save fuel
so
on a track like this.
Musa and Kewen side by side through turn number 7, and it looks like Musa is able to just hold the line, but Kewen's going to be on the outside, which is the quicker line of the two. But will Musa be able to slot it on the inside here into turn 10? Just about no contact there recorded, so it looked like Kewen did just leave that space, and Musa now moves himself up into 4th position.
Yes, that was a good move. Musa was there. Just a slight kiss there, nothing to mention.
Yeah, see, even on my little report here is that it didn't show a touch at all.
Yeah,
so
no, it was just a light door to door there. It was a very good move by Musa. He had that corner, but Kewen defended that very well. It looks like Bashir has upped the pace a little bit, seeing as Charles is approaching with speed.
So though the top 3, their last laps was a 2:19.1 for Bash, 2:19.3 for Ryan, and Charles 2:18.9. So
let's see what happens on this lap. It looks like
Bash definitely got the better drive. Ryan looks like he was just struggling to get that power down a bit.
2:19 flat. Okay, yeah, no, that's still reasonable.
And 2:18.7 there for Charles. So Charles just taking out a couple of tenths there.
Yeah, in that slipstream he's making up nice time there.
And I'm sure he is quite happy just to be sitting in that slipstream, being pulled along here. Yeah, using less fuel, 100%.
Yeah, if you can stay behind someone the whole race, you have to put in way less fuel in your pit stop if you need to, which saves time. Because I still think one set of tires is efficient, but I don't think you can get away with fuel. Let's see, maybe someone surprises me.
So this is a shot of Sean Herrero. I wonder whether that was possibly not a DC. Because Sean Herrero looked like he was going through a rouge, and all of a sudden the cameraman Tim got fixated on the floor.
Yeah, he showed us the marble. I must say there's
whoa.
There was an incident. They should just get out the way very quickly.
Just want to see what... Oh no, that was Sorodio unfortunately hitting the wall.
Oh, and Neville Jude, that's so unlucky.
And
these guys just as... Oh, that's unlucky as well. Oh, that's unfortunate. No, that's just a pure wrong place at the wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time. And, oh my gosh.
So, Jude got tapped twice in this race. Very unlucky race for him.
So Kewen in the slipstream coming through turn number 17. 18.
There's lots of time left, so if he can get his car back to the pits, it would be a good idea to just fix everything and put new tires on and everything, and just see what he can recover. That's if the damage is not too bad, but that was quite a whack.
It was quite a whack indeed. Well, Jude is
up and running.
He is up and running. You can see the damage is taken to the front of that AMG.
It looks like he can get that back to the pit, so that's good news. You'll probably duck into the pit straight. Yeah, there we go. All right. Let's see what you can do from there. It's still a long race. Joel Wilkin stays that comfortable second right behind Otten. Kwan is putting quite a bit of pressure on Musa.
So I got a little bit sidetracked. I was trying to just set the speed trap, but the speed trap was at the wrong place, so we weren't really getting the top speed. So Kewen right behind Moat, and while Moat was able to get himself ahead of him, he hasn't been able to pull away, because I think now that the Ferrari is in that slipstream.
Everybody's battling now. Jadwat, Ottens and Wilkins is battling. Kwan is battling with Musa. So this is getting exciting.
And the other battle that's building up, is that going to be an overtake? Yes, it was. So I just missed it. I did manage to catch it on the screen.
Marcus got some damage from that incident earlier, so I wonder if his car's got a... Yeah, it looks like his car's not looking too happy. I think I see some damage.
So
he was the one that got that knock, that tried to get through the two cars, so I think unfortunate for him as well.
So back to the race of the top three.
It would be very interesting to see who's going to fold first and go into the pits. This is going to be interesting.
And again, 0.3 separating all three. Well, it's actually not 0.3, it's 0.25 separates these three. And that's because Bash 219.3, Ryan 219.29, and Charles Wilkin 219.05. But now, is this the chance for Charles Wilkin to move himself up into second place? He's going to have a little show. He has got himself on the inside, and that Lamborghini in a straight line is absolutely incredibly fast, and gets himself up into second place.
Classic move. Up the hill into the corner.
Just shows you the straight line
speed. I think Kwan will be happy just to sit there and follow them, I think, because there's not much speed difference between these three. So I would also not have defended that position too hard. There's still lots of time, and like I said, sitting behind them saving you lots of fuel and tire, I suppose. Whoa, there's a very close into that corner.
Well, the thing is that Kewen is also matching Mohat's time. So 219.2 for Mohat and 219.3 for Musa. As Musa goes,
he's taking the outside, which is going to put him on the inside. Beautiful move.
So great move there for Kewen. Gets himself on the outside, which sets him up on the inside going into turn number 14, and is able to. Looks like he's starting to pull away. I wonder whether Mohat's decided, let's do a little bit of fuel saving here.
Yeah, he's like you said, there's already quite a gap.
So what I am noticing is that Marcus Steyn is definitely struggling, because his last lap was a 2:23.
Yes. I can see the damage on the front of his car. He was one of the unlucky ones. Sergio into the pits.
Yeah, so that time is still running, and that's already 300 seconds. So I
Oh,
think that might be the end
yes,
of Andre, unfortunately.
yeah, he had a big crash in that incident that
Whoa, there we
caused
go.
the.
Mohat deciding to go into the pit. So
Whoa, that's
that's
interesting.
quite an early pit stop. But let's see
Yes,
how this is going to play out later on as he starts dropping down the order.
I wonder if he might have started on used tires if he pits this early.
Well, you can just see how painstakingly
Because
long this pit lane is.
because I don't see any damage on the car.
Yep.
So, and this is still very, very early. So I wonder, this is interesting. So here we see the first whim of a strategy.
So
Let's see how this one plays out. How long he's
So
stationary.
just to give everybody at home a little bit of perspective, that was 60 seconds of pit lane driving from when he crossed that pit entry to when he got to his pit box. That was 60 seconds. We're currently sitting on 85 seconds. So that just shows you how long a pit stop is here. There's 30 seconds for tires. So I don't think that was tires. I think that was just a little splash and dash, and off he goes again.
Ooh. That's interesting. I wouldn't.
So there we go. Total of 106 seconds for that pit stop, and that's going to put him all the way down now behind Jabulani in 18th place, knowing that he was battling up in 5th position. It just shows you how difficult this this race is actually going to be, because do you risk 90 seconds? So Marius, now that we've got a few calculations, where is your mind? Do we try and run this car without pitting?
There's smoke coming out my ears because I honestly, the only if it was me, I would have just stopped for fuel in the first place. I would have risked the tires if you really want to shave off time, but you can't get past the fuel issue on this track, I think. Maybe someone can prove me wrong, but I don't think you can on this track get away with the fuel.
Well,
so you have to go into the pits.
I do want to just say what is quite interesting is that the three in front are kind of just settled into that low 219s. Then Kieran Duplessis in 4th place. He's been going his best lap is a 218.8. His last lap was a 218.84. So the driver in 4th place, you can see there, he is starting to catch up to the guys in the podium spots.
Yeah, so these guys can't be saving fuel. So they will have all these guys will have to pit. It's just so it's all down to how much time you spend in that pit. So Musa pitted very early. It looked like it might have been just fuel. So let's see.
So we just got a approval from Billy Theron. Thank you very much, Billy. Thank you very much for joining us. And as you join the action, we've got Adrian Bond closing up on the back of Wilfred Robson. Wilfred from the L&R boys. And a great aerial shot there.
Can you just go to Flip Van Zyl and see what his last lap time was?
Yes, I can. So Flip Van Zyl, 121.8 there for him. And
that's very interesting.
Now
you see, I would expect a fuel-saving move from him. Okay.
Well, look,
he's very good at working. He's very good at working weird things out. So I will keep my eye on him for the pitting. If there's one guy that might get away with not pitting, it would be him. So I'll keep my eye on him for that.
There we go. Kieran Duplessis decides he's now going to be going into pits. So now we're going to have to see where he comes out relative to Mohat Musa, who is currently in 17th place. So we'll also just keep our eye on that pit stop timer. Thank you very much, Lucas, for the thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. So just a long pit.
Charles Wilkins still right there.
Well, these guys are just about matching each other's times, and this is about finding that rhythm. And how's this for close lap times? Bash 219.51, Shoal 219.51, Ryan 219.56.
Yeah, you see they're all running a very good pace, not pushing too hard. It looks like they all have the same kind of idea.
And the crazy thing
So
is
I
that
would expect them to dash in for like a splash and dash at the end. That's what I would expect from this top three.
And when you're saying not pushing too hard, for me to get a 219.5 is me pushing the car to the limit. And here they're doing it lap after lap after lap.
Yes. But as you saw, there's guys that are in the 218s here and there. But I would not... the pace that the front runners are doing is a more strategically better pace than pushing 218s.
And
if you want not to change tires.
Yeah, 100%. And this is what we wanted to see. That is Kewan getting himself ahead of Mohat after the pit stop. So they are now back in the positions they were before they went into the pits.
Yes. Right back onto each other. Now it's going to be very, very interesting to see.
So the man who has gone, I'd say, unnoticed here this evening is Neil Greening. Because I was just looking at some of the positions that the guys have made, and you can see Neil currently in 12th, up 8 positions from his qualifying. So he has been working his way up the field, picking off his opponents, and looking for a good result so far.
Yes, remember he was in an incident right at the beginning on the first lap where he lost a position or two, so he made up good ground. Terry Wolford also made up a few positions.
So Terry Wolford currently in 15th place and
alone on the track. Very, very lonely.
In between the Bond and the Duplessis, and is currently doing his last lap was a 2:22.6, but yeah, just about him keeping it on the track.
Nice. Only it looks like there's no other cars on the track.
But he is definitely on the... There we go. We saw someone turning into turn number 7.
Christopher Radloff has lost quite a little bit of ground from that top 3. No, actually Christopher lost a couple of places earlier and he made back one of them, it seems.
Remember, is that McEwen and Mohat got ahead of Christopher.
Oh yeah, they pitted. They pitted, that's right.
And they've pitted. So
that's correct.
Technically, depending on what Christopher's strategy is that he might still come out behind the two of them.
Yeah, he's doing his, let's see what this lap is. His last lap was a 2:20, a 2:19. Okay, so his lap time is the same as the front runners.
So they have picked up the pace a bit, because now that's 2:19.0 for Bash, 2:19.2 for Shoal, and Ryan at 2:19.7. Just got a little slow warning there for Michael. Wonder whether he had just had the car step out on him coming in through turn number 20.
of the top 10, it seems like after Musa and Kuan pitted, it created quite a little bit of gaps in between. If I quickly run my eye through the gaps, there's 11 seconds, 7 seconds. Sebastian is 2 seconds behind Heineke, and then it's all quite big gaps. But the interesting thing is, well, what I think is, most of these guys has to go into one pit, and when they come out again, that's gonna be the interesting thing.
So it does look like
the top 3 will probably shadow each other. If I was any one of the top, looks like he made a mistake there. Otten's made a little mistake
in the background.
He fell back significantly.
Yeah, so, well, we say significantly, that's 1.5 seconds, and it's just because they're on quite a quick section of the track. But what I wanted to say is it looked like Scholl's going to be picking up the pace here and starting to attack Bash. And I'm almost certain when we cross the line, we'll see that Scholl's time would have been quicker. And funny you say that, Morris. Out of the 3, Ryan's was actually the quickest as a 2:18.9, then Scholl 2:19.3, and Bash 2:19.5. So I'd wonder whether it's now time to put the pressure on Mr. Leader himself. Well, here we go. Grant Sebastian now in the pits.
It's about halfway of the race.
So I think this is where the guys will, if there is this half and half strategy, this would be where the guys will start pitting. I do see that Wilfred Robson is now coming out, so he himself has had a pit as well. So we do see Grant dropping down the order now as those cars that are not in the pits go past that start-finish line and overtake him.
Yeah. Orion Heineke.
So that gap playing between that 1.2 to 1.3 seconds between Ryan and Scholl. And that looked like Bash was a little bit wide there through the second phase of turn 12.
Bash is pushing a little bit through this middle sector, but at the last sector, that Lamborghini has got quite a good top end. Bash is really trying to stretch Scholl here a little bit. That gap is opened up to a second again. I'm very impressed with that Porsche top end down that.
There we go.
Scholl
so Scholl pulls the trigger on the pits. And that now lets Orion Ottens move up into first place.
Second.
I mean, yes, second place. So I say move up a position, it moves up into first place.
Okay, so Scholl decided to come into the pits, which pushes everybody wants Christopher is now in third place, but we know that none of them have pitted yet. Now I wonder if Scholl would have started with, like you said, the half-half strategy.
Well, there's only one way.
It would be very interesting to see how long Bashir and all the top guys now still stay out for.
So I'm just looking at the stationary time, and for Kuhn that was 32 seconds, so that looks like tires. Moat 32 seconds, that looks like tires. Grand Sebastian, 34 seconds. That looks like tires.
Yes, so the guy's not putting fresh tires on. That's interesting.
And Charles is still 16 seconds there for him, so that's going to leapfrog him. So Scholl hasn't taken tires. That looks like that was a little splash and dash, and off he goes.
It's so cool that we know their stationary time. That tells us the whole story.
100%. So that gets him ahead of Adrian Bond, apologies, who is in 12th place. And this is where the strategies are going to start coming into play.
Okay, so Charles Wilkin just put fuel in.
And
so let's see.
With a 16-second stop, I think it's about...
That's a lot of time.
About 40... I think about 40 liters is about 11 seconds, or 50 liters is about 11 seconds. So it looks like it might be a half and half fuel strategy there for him.
Yes, yes. And if you did go light, half and half, for instance, that also would have less effect on your tires as well.
So quite interestingly enough is that Mohat and Kuan are still within fighting stances. And Mr. Flip van Zyl closing up onto the back of Mr. Marcus Steyn. So Flip van Zyl, 10 positions he has gained in this race so far.
Yeah, no, Flip van Zyl is like the silent stalker. You don't see him and then suddenly in the end, pop, there he is.
And there's Neil, 10 places up for him, currently in 10th place. And he is chasing down Mr. Wayne Bond. What is happening out in front with a race leader and a second place, like Ryan.
Yeah, they are keeping that exact gap. Ryan got a little bit closer, but they are keeping the same distance from each other. It will be very interesting to see when they pop in. Christopher Radloff also haven't pitted yet. Well, the top 10, I reckon, has not pitted yet. To 19.4. Yeah, no, they are very, very consistent, these guys. They keep it in the mid-219s most of the time.
And that's they're kind of just following each other in terms of that pace, and I think that's pretty smart. I'm still very interested to see, in terms of the pace that they're running, is I'm almost certain that they would need to go and pit.
Oh no, yeah, no. Like I said, it will be very, very difficult to do this whole race without pitting, and I do not know over such a distance how much time you would lose on a track like this, going, for instance, on a fuel save mode. I don't think that, I don't know, I might be wrong. Like I said, if anyone can pull that off, it's Mr. van Zyl.
This man in shot, Mr. van Zyl.
That's
is closing up, or kind of staying there, because I see Marcus did a 2:21.8 last lap and Flip a 2:21.7.
Okay, and we know the Ferrari is very fuel efficient as well.
It just doesn't have a fuel saving mode, so if you want to save,
yes,
you've got to drive it short shifting,
Yes,
coasting it into the corners.
that's right.
Just checking some of the comments this evening. We just got a message there from Gareth Hogg saying evenings. How's it, Gareth? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And guys, if you are still watching, drop us a message. Let us know how you're enjoying this race so far. As we see Ryan now within a second between himself and Bash. And who is going to pull the trigger next with 26 minutes left of this race? Oof, that rear looked
Ryan Ottens made up about, well, he made up about half a second on Bashir. So he's starting to put pressure on again. 26 minutes left of this race. And the guys have got into a steady rhythm. I think mostly to conserve those tires, because I think most of the guys, well, we've seen what, 3 or 4 guys already changing tires?
Yep.
For instance, Musa and Duplessis and Sebastian, they all changed tires. So it will be interesting to see what their lap times look like in the last 15 minutes as opposed to Charles Wilkin, for instance.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. And you said that it looked like Ryan had gained half a second. Just to correct you, it was 0.48. It wasn't half a second. But that was a great guess.
Okay, well, now he gained in total 7 tenths because he's only 1 second he's gaining on Bashir at the moment. It looks like Bashir is letting off a little bit on this lap.
We see Gerard Voslu, we know him as V-Dubber here at SARCO, giving us a purple hand blue peace sign. And that's because obviously the our Streamlabs doesn't read the emojis, unfortunately. But thank you, Gerard. I hope you're well and the family is good. So to answer your question, we've got Kuan doing a 218.7, Mohat 218.9.
Right. So they about half a second a lap up on the front guys.
At this pace currently, they are so half a second from Ryan.
Oh, look at Ryan Otten giving big pressure now on Bashir. Bashir going defensive. No, he's not.
He's gonna look like he might just let
go into the pits.
Little touch there. No pits.
No, he's not going into the pits. Interesting. Very good move by Ryan Ottens into the second pass corner. The last chicane. But Bashir could have defended there if he wanted to, but he chose not to. So he knows that guy, obviously Kwan has a little bit more pace than him at the moment. Ryan, so.
But that will be for Bash to just follow his way through. Whoa, both of them taking a massive cut there.
Yes. Christopher Red.
Whoa, what's going on here? What's going on here? Something is definitely gone awry here. So this is McEwen coming up onto the back of Terry Wolford, goes up onto the inside. It just looked like they were trying to go too wide, and I don't know whether it was just the rear that had let go.
Yeah, Terry had nowhere to go there. All he could do was keep it on that line.
So Kua now dropping all the way down into 15th place. So that's going to release any pressure that Mohat was adding on him. So Mohat is now up into 13th place.
Yes.
And here we go. Charles Wilkin currently right up on the back of Greening and Wayne Bond.
And they still have to pit, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. So Lucas saying, unfortunate there's I know that's
whoa, he has to take a shortcut, but let's hope that these guys don't hold him up too much so that advantage he got in the pit stops. No, he's going to take this position for sure.
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
seen how
very
quick
good.
this Lamborghini is, and you can see
Yeah,
by the time we get to that
inside.
braking part.
Okay, so that didn't cost him too much time. Let's see how it goes with Wayne Bond. But if he can get through here smoothly, then his strategy looks like a very good one at the moment.
Yes, and just looking, Flip Van Zyl in the battle there between himself and Marcus Steyn. How's this for a lap time? So 2:21.5 for Flip, and Marcus 2:21.52 for Marcus. So just
All
about
right.
doing 0.01 was the difference in lap times there between these two.
Yeah. I still think Marcus is driving with a little bit of damage in the front of his car, which is impairing him a little bit, I think, especially in the straights. Yeah, now this is what Scholl does not want. He lost a couple of tenths already, but I think here would not be too much of a drama.
So I'm sure he will set up the move here on Wayne and get himself set up for the chicane.
BMW is quick.
But look at that.
BMW is very quick.
And it looked like Scholl lost just a little bit of some downforce there because that car understeered going in through turn number 18.
Yeah, and I think this will frustrate Scholl a little bit because this is exactly, he doesn't want to spend a lot of time now, and Bond is defending his position beautifully, right?
And he has got.
I think this with it after up the hill, I don't think he'll be able to do much against Scholl, but he defended his position valiantly for a while. But he still has to pit, if I'm not mistaken. Someone exiting the pits there in the background.
Yeah, that's Jabulani. And man, oh man, I thought that Lamborghini would have been right on that BMW. Now, will Scholl be able to move?
He's quick, and he's still behind him. You see, this is exactly what he would have feared, you know, sitting behind someone. There he goes. He's getting frustrated. You must just be very careful. It looks like he's getting a little bit impatient.
So Scholl currently in 10th place. And
I just know how he feels now.
Oof. Just
he wants to. He must just not get the red mist.
And getting his Lamborghini as far up into the rearview mirror as he can.
Yeah, we know what effect green has on a person when they look in the mirror.
It starts creating mamba fever, and we know it's a thing.
Man, that cold sweat on your upper lip. Yeah, no, this is very frustrating. I know how it is, because it could really lose him a position or two. If
there we go.
Oh yes, there's a little mistake from Adrian Bond, and Scholl says thank you, and he's off. Right, okay, so that hurdle is out the way for Scholl. So I think that cost him maybe a second and a half. I don't think it's...
Well, it was... So if we look now, so it was 1.3 seconds for the previous lap. So we'll have a look now when he crosses the start-finish line. But what's happening is Neil is now coming to the party against Mr. Bond. So Scholl, that was a 2:22.9. So he's effectively lost 3.5 seconds to the gentleman out in front, and that is Mr. Orion Shopfitters, who is in first place.
Yes, and he pulled a nice stretch of 3 seconds on Bashir. That's very good pace, I must say. I don't know if that Porsche's rear tires are starting to go a little bit.
So
but Christopher Radloff has made up about 3 seconds as well on is that gap from the lead? No, from Bashir. So I don't know if Bashir has a little bit of tire problems at this stage, but but we can keep our eye on that.
So look,
It's quite big gaps.
we are approaching those last 15 minutes, and that's kind of where your race can be won or lost. And it's all about those. Have they got their fuel calculations right? Are they going to be pitting? Are they not?
No, I think they have to pit. There's no two ways about it. I know these cars can't run flat out for an hour and 15 minutes.
Well, interestingly enough, Mr. Adrian Murray, currently in 6th place. He's gone up 7 positions here this evening. He qualified quite low, which was quite uncharacteristic, but he is finding himself up in 6th place. And the other driver who's made some waves here is Michael Strivik in 5th position, but obviously still needing to pit there as well. But that's him there behind. I was going to say,
well, when I say everybody has to pit, I say it with a careful confidence, okay? Because I know someone is going to prove me wrong or something tonight. But I'll be impressed.
Ruan Heineke putting a message here up on our chat saying that Wayne is defending like a lion. Yeah, he definitely was. There was 2 laps of absolutely great defending there. Just putting the car in all the wrong places for Scholl. So Neil was closing up onto the back of Wayne, and the two of them matching their lap times. 2:22.5 for Wayne, 2:22.4 for Neil. So they're kind of just cancelling each other out there.
Yes.
So let's have a quick little recap in terms of the championship. And so far, the man currently in 4th place, who is leading this championship, has all his opponents behind him. So that will leave Chris Heineke as the season champion.
If the positions stay the way they are.
If the positions stay the way they are, that is correct. And depending on who still needs to pit, who is not going to pit. And a message coming here from Ruan saying that his defensive skills are going to be tested soon.
Flips, yes. Because Charles Wilkin is on his way. But Flip van Zyl is doing the attacking at the moment. So I think, let's see. It's not going to be here, but he is putting pressure on Marcus Stein.
So Lenz said, if I had to add the pit stop time to the 2 front runners now, where will it put them relative to to Flip? So let's just do a quick calculation. So that's 4, 16, 30, 48. That would put Flip ahead. And that's if Flip didn't pit.
Yeah.
So technically Ruan, Len Flip is leading the race if he's choosing not to pit, and the 2 gentlemen out in front have to. Well, let's just see where Ryan is on track. 12 minutes to go, with a couple of spare change seconds.
If you get it right not to pit in this race, just by and still doing 2-minute 21s, I commend you. So I'll be very impressed if someone can pull off without pitting, I must say.
So it does look like Bash is starting to struggle just a little bit. That was a 2:20.8 there for him. Ruin saying he doesn't believe the front runners will pit. So
Holy
we've
moly.
got 12 minutes left there, Ruin. And that will tell us the story.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I would never have thought that a tank would last for 75 minutes these speeds. It just shows you how much I know.
Listen, what do I know?
Yeah, no, really.
There we go. Great move there from Grant Sebastian. We can just see the build up to that. So that's coming out of the turn number 11. Grant just able to get a better drive there and putting himself on the inside through turn 12. They did go side by side.
There's loads of space.
So a good overtake there in the end.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that took tires. And when I look at those lap times, it's very good lap times. All low 19s, high 18s.
So Charles is currently circulating the quickest out of any of the guys ahead of him. Doing last lap was a 2:19.5. Ruin saying that the Ferrari guys, it's going to be a close shave. Apparently the Porker on low fuel is amazing. So interesting. Oh, we've got
yes, but if the Porker is on low fuel, you won't be doing. I would suppose you would be way slower.
Just wanted to see
It's
here.
very interesting.
I've got a slow car warning from Bash. I don't know whether it just maybe it's just coming off the power and braking early. But it didn't look like.
He must have made some kind of a oopsie because there's no one around him anymore.
Well, there goes Ryan in the distance there.
Yeah, he lost another second and a half. So he made a little mistake somewhere.
So Marcus and Fliffensell both doing 21.8.
Yeah.
And less than 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, no, I'm now my interest is piqued. I can't wait to see the end, to see if these guys are going to pit or not.
So we
that would be
did
amazing.
see a move here. That was Musa on the inside at turn number...
Nice.
I got myself confused there. There we go. That was turn number 10.
That's right. Solid overtake. Yeah, he's got fresh tires. He immediately pulled quite a gap on the guy behind him. So I suppose.
So I think it will
That's the difference between a fresh tire and a used one.
It will only be time where Mohat is able to get himself ahead of Mr. Bond, and the fresher tires will definitely be a help there for him.
Can you just quickly see what was the leader's last lap time?
Yes, indeed. So, Mr. Orion Ottens, that was a 2:19.5.
Oh, he's still doing 2:19.5s. Okay, he's amazingly consistent. So he's still doing the same pace that he's been doing the whole race long.
And it looked like Bash's tires have come back to him because now he did a 2:19.8.
Yeah, yes, I think he made a little mistake somewhere. But yeah, and him as well. Oops, there's a little mistake from Bond. Missing that.
I think that was corner. Just part of the overtake. So you can see down the Kemmel Straight, and that is Mohat going around the outside, and Wayne just needing to, looks like, oh, and that's on the inside, wrong part of the track, and that unfortunately is not going to help. But where the hot and happening action is is right here with Flip and Sal behind Marcus Steyn.
He's been behind him for quite a while now, and he's putting big pressure on him now. 7 minutes left of this race, and I have not got a clue what these guys are going to do.
Like, who still needs to splash and dash? Is there going to be a splash and dash? It is going to be very interesting.
Did not change tires, but he put in some fuel. Now I hear there's people that not going to stop, and that's going to totally throw a spanner in the wheel of a lot of guys. If they'll be able to do that.
Because the other Lamborghini is Michael Strubeck, who is in 5th place. So the question is that if if Charles Wilkin had to put fuel, would Michael Strubeck need to put fuel?
I mean, the longer that, yeah, no, this is very interesting. Christopher Radloff made up a lot of time on Bashir. Bashir lost another 2 seconds to, so he's struggling a little bit now with that tires. But it obviously he's going right to the end with that set. I just cannot believe I'm going to see a car finish this race without stopping.
And I suppose that's the guys putting in the time, figuring out what the best strategy is for them, and bringing it home.
Yeah.
So we're on 5.5 minutes.
So the top 8 guys have not pitted yet. Charles Wilkin is ahead of all the guys that have pitted so far.
That is correct.
And he's 1 second. He's 1 second behind Flip. Made up about quite a few seconds in the last few laps. So he's going to be putting pressure on Flip pretty soon, which is right behind Marcus Steyn. So we've got an ensuing battle here.
So this is Charles Wilkin for 8th and 7th position. Chris Heineke in his Porsche in 4th. And Charles currently in 2nd place for this championship. And who you're looking at is Marcus Steyn, who's currently 3rd, Flip van Zyl, who's 4th in the championship, and Charles, who is 2nd.
Yes.
So, depending on where Charles finishes relative to these two, Chris Heineke will get the championship. But then, there was an AMG getting out of the way. Chris Heineke will get the championship. Charles will then finish 2nd, Marcus 3rd, and Flip van Zyl 4th.
Awesome.
4 minutes left, so that's 2
and
laps.
These guys are still going. So this is amazing.
Okay, so it will be... Where are we? We are currently near the end. Okay, so he's now going through turn number 16. So it is the next lap and 1 lap, and that's it. And that will be this championship decided.
That's right, there Charles goes.
And that is on the straight, and we've seen Charles really using that Lamborghini to its full potential down there. I think that's probably the 4th overtake we've seen Charles Wilkin doing at the end of the straight there.
On that corner, yeah. This time, just for a change, he did it on the
outside. On the outside. Well, why not? Inside, outside, inside, on. What's that game? Looking at some comments here, and Lucas and Ruan can't agree with you more. It's saying it's absolutely nail-biting stuff here. Is 3 minutes left. We don't know if there's any last splash and dashes that are going to be needed. But it looks like the topping up in fuel, no tires for Charles Wilkin has worked. The no stopping and no fuel for Orion has worked, and Bash starting to just suffer a little bit here. Oh, see, Ryan did a 121.1 in his last lap. Maybe it's just about him wanting to bring it home now. Bash a 220.4. And Mr.
He made
Radloff
another, yeah,
flat out himself, 219.6. So he is still putting in a good pace there.
yes. And it looks like these guys are going to do a whole... Whoa, there is Marcus Stein with some more bad luck. That's Charles Wilkin going on the outside. Into the large again, hard on the brakes. Oopsie! And Charles knocks there a little bump. It's unfortunate for Marcus Stein having a very unlucky race.
Yeah, this definitely hasn't been Marcus' season, that's for sure.
I saw him being bumped quite a couple of times. Yeah, very unlucky. Okay, so Ottens must be on the last lap already, if I'm not mistaken.
So there is 59 seconds.
No,
so
he's going to start the last lap now.
So this will be the last lap for this championship.
And he went the whole race without pitting. Huh.
And the man in 5th place is 11 places gained there for Michael Schubeck. An absolute great drive there for him. You can hear some of the short shifting happening there in that Lamborghini.
I'm telling you, this is very, very impressive that these guys did those times and saved fuel. That's amazing. I would never have thought that you can do 75 minutes on that pace on only one tank.
32 laps around Spa.
Wow. Yeah, Struwig made up immense load of places. 11 places he made up. Where did Flip van Zyl start this race?
I'll tell you now.
Because Musa is behind him. They stopped for tires. Marcus Stein did not stop, but he had very bad luck.
So Flip van Zyl has made up 10 places.
10 places. That's brilliant. But those front guys, I'm very impressed with them. I mean, Christopher Radloff is going to get a podium.
And that's because he had Mohat and Kuhn. They pitted.
Going to pit,
yeah.
Yes. And he did not go and pit. So that whole top 6 brilliant strategies. I would never have...
Oh!
You can get whoa, there's an unfortunate tap.
But that means that Jabulani is not going to need to do another lap. But that is Ryan Ottens in 1st place. Bashir will come home in 2nd place there for him.
2nd place, very
Christopher Radloff picks up a 3rd, so that's a podium there for him.
Podium position, very well done.
Chris Honecker, he is up 4 places and your championship winner.
Well done, and it's a Porsche as a champion. I'm so happy.
I'm quite sure that you would be there. Oh, it looked a little bit deep there. But there we go. Chris Honecker crosses the line to be the Season 3 champion. Michael Struwig, absolute cracker result there for him. I'm sure he'll be over the moon here with his 5th place.
Listen, how many places did Adrian make up?
So we'll double check that right now, but there we go. Adria, 7th
places up. He made up. Well
position
done
for him.
Adria.
Charles Wilkin, 7th for him, down 3 places from his qualifying.
So his strategy to going into the pits
didn't quite
was not the
work
right
out.
one.
Unfortunately not.
Yeah.
So Flip van Zyl will finish in 8th, Mohat Musa 9th place. Mark Costain also gets the Battered Award. 11th for Wayne Bond, up 6 places there for him. Kewen just getting a place that puts him in 12th. 13th Neil Greening, 14 Grant Sebastian, AD in 15th place. Wilfred Robson will finish in a 16th. Jude Neville a 17th place there for him, down 9 places. Jabulani finishes in 18th, and then Terry Wolford will cross the line in 19th place.
There we go. It was a very, very good race. I'm very impressed with these guys. They had brilliant race. Good battles in the beginning. Strategies brilliant. Well done to the champion, Chris, and to the winner of this race, Ryan Ottens. Very well done. And I see what Bashir is in here. Well done. But I must go because my electricity is going to go off in 1 minute.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Morris.
So guys, well done, and it was a pleasure.
Thank you, Morris. We'll definitely chat soon.
Yeah, cool.
Cheers, bye.
Good. Out of it.
Well done, Ryan.
Yeah, same to you, Bash.
Yo, I just ran out of fuel at the end. I had to put it in map 4.
Yeah, I was fuel saving from earlier.
I saw, yeah, that was the right strat. I tried fuel saving earlier, but then I saw you got a bit too close to me that 1 lap, so I put it back to map 8. Yeah.
I finished with 1 liter, so
I had 0.2. I had 0.2 across the
That BM's too heavy. I had to use map 8 the whole race, man.
No ways.
Sure. Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's start off with you, Christopher. A good start there for you, but then absolutely swamped there by Kewen and Mohat. And I'm sure you're quite happy to see them going to the pits and kind of just opening that door for you. And then as we cut across, we're talking about fuel saving, and you said that you were running map 8. That's not much fuel for the entire race.
Yeah, unfortunately the BM is quite thirsty, so map 8 was me the whole race. But Kieran, part of my team, I knew he was on a light fuel load, so I decided I would let him through, but I shouldn't have, because I lost far too much time. Me being a good teammate, next time I'll just put him in the wall and end my worries.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, it was no, definitely not.
We won't talk about that race.
It was a good race, and well done to Ryan and Bash up front. They drove brilliantly. And yeah, I had lots of fun. Thank you guys for putting it all together.
No, absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. Bash, let's go to you finishing second for the race this evening. And I must say, that middle sector of the race, when you guys were literally clocking 2:19.5, the three of you, yourself, Ryan, and Charles Wilkin, just putting in those times, it looked like you guys were in a rhythm. Were you hoping that some of the guys were going to pit, knowing that you were not going to pit?
I kind of knew from the start that Ryan would also do the long strat, because I think the Ferrari is probably the only other car that can, save fuel while still run a decent pace. So I kind of knew it was going to happen. I was just hoping that in the slip he'd use more fuel than me. But no, it didn't work out. But yeah, it was a good race. I enjoyed it. A little bit of contact. I'm sorry for that in turn 1. I think I squeezed him a bit and then got a bit of a tank slapper cut across Eau Rouge. And yeah, after that it was a decent race. I tried to just keep pace, push as much as I could without killing my tires, because that's another issue of the Porsche. Kill the rears and you are sliding the entire race. But yeah, overall very happy with the result. I didn't expect it, but yeah, Ryan did an amazing job to keep the pace and still have some fuel at the end. So yeah, congrats to him, and well done to Chris for the champs as well.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. Just one last question before we go to Ryan. The last 10 minutes, all of a sudden those times started going to 2021s. Was that tyre issue, or was that worried about fuel?
No, that was worried about fuel. I realized about 20 minutes to go that I was about 6 liters short, so I had to lift coast and map 8. So yeah, it was the last few laps were some of the worst laps of my life, because you drive so slowly that you make the most stupid of mistakes anyway, because you try to brake later even though you're cruising. But yeah, that's lesson learned.
No, absolutely awesome. It was great to see that train out in front. And let's go to you, Ryan. In terms of your strategy, knowing that you weren't going to playing the long game, at what point did you realize you wanted to really start putting the pressure on Bash, or was it just to wait for that final moment to then make that move?
Yeah, so it was more just a case of I was managing my fuel load constantly. So after about 20 minutes in, I started managing it, and I was watching my fuel, knowing what I needed to get it to the end. So I was waiting, and then Bash started slowing down a little bit somewhere in that run, and I decided, okay, I'm going to pounce. I don't know if it was a good or bad thing at the time, but I was like, let me just use up some fuel to get past and then see if I can get away, and it worked out. I finished with a liter, so it was tight, but it just worked out.
So you had 3 corners in hand, is what you're saying?
Yeah, Chris and I were still chatting because he had a few more liters than me, and I was like, Chris, if this goes another lap, you're pushing me home, babe.
Shake and bake, Ricky Bobby. Absolutely awesome. Great result there for you. Again, obviously,
and yeah, well done to Bash as well. I honestly thought he was going to pit. When he was doing some good pace in the beginning, I thought, no, it's fine. I'm just going to hang back. I'm sure he's going to pit. And eventually, 10 minutes to go, and we're like, okay, we clearly got that wrong. He's not pitting either. So it was a good drive from all of us, I think, and pretty cool. First time I've ever actually fuel saved. I'm normally aggressive, so it was weird for me.
You also had us in the commentary box looking at calculations, trying to figure out, but hold on, if Charles has pitted, surely the other Lamborghini should be pitting. Then we saw Mohad pit in the BMW, saying surely that the BMW should be pitting, so definitely kept us guessing up in top, and so that was really awesome. Really made for an interesting finish, so thank you very much for that, guys. Let's go
Flat
to you,
out.
Chris Heineke, championship winner. The first one under your belt within the SARCO series. Just let us know, what are your thoughts in terms of the series, the different formats? What did you like?
Yeah, no, this is an epic series. I love the different races, events. I like the qualifying, the single lap, hot lap qualifying, because it throws a bit of a spanner in the works. You know, are you going to push it, or are you going to be a bit safe?
Yeah.
Then yeah, so no, it's exciting. We love it. It's great racing. So yeah, no, I'm all excited.
So guys,
Congratulations, Chris. Well done.
absolute
Yeah,
congratulations.
Yeah, no, thanks to you guys as well. Great racing. Huh? It's just I wasn't the quickest guy always, but I think consistency paid off.
Most definitely, and that's kind of my theory as well. I'm not the fastest, but I'm definitely one of the smartest. All right, guys.
According to you.
Yeah, hey, Christopher. Thank you to everybody that joined us in terms of the drivers. A great entry. We had 45 drivers that entered into the season. Obviously, understanding load shedding schedules didn't allow for everybody to race at once. To all the fans that had joined us and watching the live streams, appreciate all the support that you've given us. To our sponsors, Orion Shopfitters, thank you very much for your contribution. There is a little cash prize that will be going out to the drivers, as well as some chic hampers that will be delivered. We will be just finishing off those points and just making sure that there aren't any incidents that will change some of that. To our server practice sponsors, and that is NAG, powered by Nutanix. Thank you very much, guys. We're really looking forward to the next season, as well as MSR that are the supporter of SARCO and give us the equipment to make the stream available. Guys, we'll be going on a little 2-week break, but just keep checking out our socials for when the new season's up, is that we do have some interesting news that is coming with that, and we'll get a new season up and running. I've been thinking about a different format that we can add to it, and who knows, maybe it adds a little bit of spice. So thank you very much, guys. All I can say is until then, keep practicing, keep racing, and thanks for watching. Yo.